Hi! Today I felt like designing some magical girls, mostly because I've been on a YouTube horror binge and, I needed something cute and happy. And I saw this tweet that was like, what if the Avengers were friends instead of co-workers, and it cracked me up. So I was like, let's do that, let's make a whole team of magical girls from the Avengers, because magical girl series are all about power of love and friendship and everything. So I started out by drawing bases for all the characters. Since this is just a character design lineup and not an actual illustration, the poses are a little boring. I just wanted to make sure they were all roughly the same size and anatomy. I went with big legs and arms in kind of a panty and stocking or Guri Hiru style, since I've been really into that look lately. So it's not entirely anime-ish proportion-wise, but it's still pretty cartoony and cute in my opinion. I would actually love to see an Avengers magical girl anime. Just imagining how they'd adapt some of the backstories is wild. Thor's original gimmick from the comic kind of works. Like, he had the whole Donald Blake secret identity while he was on Earth, and then he did a magical girl-esque transformation into Thor. And Steve's origin of being a small, kind of sickly guy who becomes strong enough to protect people, that's very magical girl material. And I guess Iron Man could work. They're usually the smart girls in most magical girl groups, so it's not that much of a stretch if you ignore the more brutal bits of Tony's backstory. Hawkeye is also fine because there are plenty of magical girls who fight with bows and arrows, but then with the Hulk it's like a teenage girl got radiation poisoning? And Black Widow could also be kind of hard to sort out. I could see maybe instead of assassin, she could just be a rival magical girl that joins their team and spies on the rival teams or bad guys for this team. Anyway, this is the universe where the Avengers are just magical girls, I guess. And I feel like that could work because in DC and Marvel comics they could just make an infinite amount of stories and universes with alternate different versions of the characters since they have the multiverse stuff set up. It's really fun. I do think every series and franchise should just have a magical girl version of it. I considered making all of their outfits have a matching element, like how a lot of magical girls teams look matchy, like Sailor Moon, Tokyo Mew Mew, Witch, Winx, Do-Re-Mi, but I ultimately decided against it. I think all these girls started off as individual magical girls and only come together for big time threats, pretty much like the actual Avengers, but they're still able to fight separately. Maybe in the future I'll come back and do second form costumes that match, for when they do big group attacks or something. But for now, I just did the original 6 from the first Avengers movie. And at this part you can see me fiddling with the poses and the character positions where I wanted them, and pretty much all of this ends up changing later, so art is a process. Thor being the first design I was doing meant I had to figure out the face and what style I wanted, and you can see me erasing and redrawing it a million times before I figured out a style I liked. I took a lot of inspiration from his original comic design, as well as She-Ra kind of vibes, like a princess warrior type character, because that's essentially what this girl would be. I knew I wanted to keep a lot of the original design elements, like those metal dinner plate things he has on his chest, whatever they are, but I ended up making them smaller so they just kind of look like buttons. And I made Mjolnir comically huge, because anime does exaggerate everything, and magical girls usually have pretty extra weapons. I think when this Thor is in her civilian form, it probably shrinks down to a cute little keychain or something like that. The design is pretty close to the original comic Thor, like I said. It lended itself surprisingly well to the magical girl genre. Like, she has flowing golden hair, a cape, those head wings, just perfect. I just ended up streamlining a lot of elements and adding frills in places, and I think it really worked. In comparison to Thor's big excited expression, I wanted Cap to have a very gentle and kind face, so I drew his eyes a little drooped in comparison. The hairstyle is loosely based on the 40s and 50s styles I could find, obviously more stylized to fit an anime style. I also used 40s and 50s silhouettes for the shape of the dress, although an actual dress from that era would be longer in length. The collar and bow were kind of Sailor Moon inspired, because that's the magical girl series I think of when I think iconic and classic, and I wanted Cap as the leader to have that iconic vibe. I also took inspiration from the showgirls from the first Captain America movie. Thor, Cap, and Hawkeye's original comic costumes all have the same exact kind of boots, so I didn't actually change those a ton for Cap, at least. I made the shield kind of transparent and magical. There are 3 blondes on this team, so to make Cap stand out more, I gave her red, white, and blue streaks in her hair. It kind of looks like toothpaste or a knockoff Laguna Blue from Monster High, but in a good way, I think. I like it. I tried giving her lipstick like girls in the 40s would probably wear, but I ended up removing it later because I didn't like the way it looked. Iron Man was interesting to try to make into a magical girl. There definitely are mecha magical girls. Nanoha, Magical Knight, Ray Earth, Symphogear. And I don't mind drawing mech features, but I didn't want the suit just to be a total clone of the existing Iron Man suit. When I was looking up reference pictures for this, I found a lot of Iron Man suit designs. Like, the man has so many more comic costumes than anyone else on this list, it's crazy. I took some inspiration from Ironheart, whose design sometimes has a heart light on the chest. Her design is really cute, and I like it more than Tony Stark's Iron Man suits, but I am biased because I do tend to prefer cutesier designs. I also went for kind of a Mega Man thing with the leg and arm pieces, and I already had an idea to give her a ponytail because she would be an inventor. She can't have hair in her face. You know, ignoring the side bangs. I had to make it look a little anime-like. I added a visor instead of a full face mask so you could see her eyes. I like how surprisingly cute the shoulder pad plates kind of ended up. They look like metal sleeve puffs. I also originally planned to put red streaks in her hair, but when I did, I hated how it looked. It sort of gave her the vibes of an alt girl or a goth girl, and that's definitely not the vibe I was going for. So I made them gray highlights, and I think that works a lot better. This whole design really surprised me. I ended up liking it a lot more than I expected to. I think it's really cute and immediately recognizable. I will say I stand by my decision to give her the shortest skirt of the group because let's be real, this is based on Tony Stark, who is a playboy. She would also be a playgirl, as much as the anime would allow. If she had a solo series, it would probably be on the level of panty and stocking. Hawkeye was fun to design for. I went back and forth on the pose. I thought the original I'd sketched blocked too much of the design, so that's why I changed it. Most of my knowledge of the character comes from the Kate Bishop Hawkeye comics, and he gives off a very different impression in those than he does in the MCU, and I kind of like the comic vibe better. Like, he's more of a hot mess in the comics, I think. In general, I'm more of a comic fan than an MCU fan, but if I get started on that topic, I will literally talk about it for like 4 hours. So I won't. I'll hold myself back today. Anyway, back to the design. I wanted this Hawkeye's hair to have blunt ends. Like, she just went in the bathroom and got some scissors and did it herself. Like all these other designs, I ripped off the very first couple of classic comic designs, and I never noticed, but along with the H on Hawkeye's forehead mask thing, the lines on his suit also make an H. I just thought that was really fun. The colors combined with the silhouette of the dress ended up being kind of gothic Lolita-ish, which really wasn't my intention, but I really couldn't stop myself from adding more frills to everything, so oh well. I also added some purple to her hair because, again, there's 3 blondes with blue eyes on this team. I wanted to make sure they look very distinct, both in their color and their silhouettes. Okay, now that we finally got to the Hulk, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret about the Hulk. He just wears ripped pants or shorts in his most iconic designs. Sometimes he wears clothes in the comics, Merged Hulk wears clothes, and some other Hulk characters in the comics do, like She-Hulk or Joe Fixit or whatever. But I wanted these designs to be recognizable at a glance, and I'm not sure that many people would recognize like some random Hulk armor from the 90s. But I couldn't have this girl just wearing shorts and nothing else. That's not the vibe. Like, she needs clothes, she needs a top. I started with her face while I had to brainstorm about this, giving her cute fluffy curls like Mark Ruffalo has, and of course she had to have shorts. I traded the ripped up shorts for little pantaloons and added a sort of asymmetrical design and sharp edges, which is as close to ripped clothing as I was willing to do. I do think it's reminiscent enough while still looking magical girl-ish. I planned to give her the big gloves from the start, like foam Hulk gloves they sell, and I thought the big puffy leg warmers matched pretty well. And then I just leaned very hard into frills and bows and fluffiness. I don't know, I just kind of thought it'd be super funny if this 5-foot little teenager was just super angry and could punch you across the city. And I've never met a teenager that wasn't just full of rage in general. I do like the idea of just a really angry magical girl too. Most of them that are angry are just kind of tsundere about it, whereas I think this girl is genuine about it. She will punch you, and it is not a sign of some hidden affection. But another funny thing is, in her civilian form, she would just be like a meek, smart glasses archetype. So I think she'd have the easiest time hiding her magical girl identity out of everyone here. And if this was an anime, I feel like she would definitely be a fan favorite. Besides the Hulk, Black Widow was actually the hardest to design for. She just wears a onesie. No, not a onesie, a catsuit. Yeah, onesie, oh my gosh, no. That would be really cute though. Anyway, she does have a few alternative costumes, and in both the comics and the MCU, she goes through a lot of different hairstyles too. But the catsuit is like the look, how the Hulk has the shorts, you know what I mean? So I was racking my brain trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what can I do? Catsuits are basically the opposite of magical girl outfits. Like, magical girl outfits are frilly and have bows and stuff and sparkles, and her outfit was designed to be sleek and sexy. And then I was like, oh, wait a second, she's a ballerina. There are plenty of ballerina magical girls, like Princess Tutu or Mew Mint from Tokyo Mew Mew. So I took that theme and gave her a tutu silhouette skirt and her original comic hair and ran with those two things, and I added her comic bracelets and belt, and I think she turned out really cute, if not really different from pretty much any comic design that I've seen her in. So if Marvel wanted to do a more tween-oriented Black Widow story, you know, here's a design for you, Marvel. After I finished up Black Widow, I did go back and tweak a few colors on the other characters and color some hair and eyeline art that I forgot to do, and just kind of added some general touches. And here's the final results. I would totally watch an Avengers Magical Girl show. I'm really happy with how these turned out, actually. Is there anything that you would change, or any other characters you think would make for a fun Magical Girl design? Let me know! And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!